Has anyone seen the movie The Wizard of Oz? Okay, so, oh good, so most of you have. So you know there's a little song in there, little morning warm-up song. You can sing along with me if you want. Everybody sing the beginning note, ready? Just hum it. You got it? Okay. Somewhere. I don't hear you. Okay, try it again. Ready? Vocations. I think for me, and I don't know about you, but when I was your age, I thought that this type of vocation, to be a sister, was like somewhere over the rainbow. It's kind of like a fairyland type tale. And I thought that probably happens to people, maybe weird people, but that's not going to happen to me. Or maybe, you know, I kind of even thought there's a little thought in my mind that maybe it didn't happen to anyone anymore, and that this was a thing of the past. I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and went to public school. So I never saw sisters. I never really saw anyone dressed like this. So I never really thought about it for myself. And I started to think maybe that it didn't exist anymore, and it was something of the past. But, surprise, surprise, how did this happen to me? So I grew up in just a normal family. I have 4 brothers. They may argue that it wasn't so normal, but actually we had a lot of fun. My parents are very faith-filled Catholics, and the faith was just a part of our everyday life. Prayers before meals and Mass on Sunday. I went through high school, and I went on to college. I actually came to Texas for college. I went to the University of Dallas, which is a small Catholic university, a great place. And that was the first time that I met Catholic friends, that I met people who were Catholic, who were from big families, and who loved their faith. So I started really at that time to want to learn more about the Catholic faith. So it's beautiful. But I also always thought that I was supposed to get married and I wanted to have a big family. That's what I thought. I never really considered anything else. So I'm going through college, it's phenomenal. My senior year in college, I'm taking a theology class. Actually, I have to back up and tell you one thing before that happened. Because there's 3 things that kind of were big graces of the Lord showing me something else, showing me a gift He was offering me. It took me a little while to understand it. But the first gift really came through my grandmother. She was, my grandmother was very, very sick during my senior year in college, and I knew that she was probably going to die soon. So she was in Minnesota, I'd gone to stay with her in the hospital for a little while. And I remember being in her hospital room, and she's very, very tiny. She was there in the hospital bed, and she was on a lot of pain medication. So she wasn't really so much conscious, but she was praying while she was there in her hospital bed. She was praying very, very, very simple prayer. She was just saying, Jesus, Mary. She was praying the names of Jesus and Mary over and over again. And as I was sitting there in the corner of her hospital room, I thought, she knows Jesus. He is real. And I had this great desire to know Him also, so that when I was dying, I would be calling on Him, who conquered death, who rose from the dead, who would pass through death with me. So I went back to school my senior year really with that desire to want to know Him. Lord, who are you? So that was probably the first big grace, really, that desire, the grace to know Jesus is real, and He can be known. We can know Him as our best friend. So that was huge grace for me. Second grace came, a class that I was actually taking my senior year in college. It was on Christian marriage, because I thought that that's what was going to happen. I was going to get married, and okay, we're learning all these beautiful things about Christian marriage. But the professor in that class, he said something very interesting. And see if you can stay with me on this. I think, for me, it helped me understand what's at the heart of religious life, of consecrated life, of why someone becomes a sister, and as Father said, gives up things. He said, a husband and wife, two people who are called to marriage, their job is to get each other to heaven. Did you know that? That's the job of husband and wife. So your mom and dad's job is to get each other to heaven. That's their vocation. Their vocation by loving each other fully is to bring each other to this perfect love union with God. Wow. But then the professor said this. He said, God calls some people right now to start living that perfect love union with Him that we're all called to ultimately have in heaven. God calls some people right now on this earth to be a witness to that love union with Him. And as the professor was saying that, something happened to me. This huge desire to do that. Okay, but I immediately thought, oh my gosh, I'm not perfect. I mean, surely you have to be a saint, to be called to religious life. And clearly I'm not that. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I mean, I'm just starting to pray. I don't even know the Lord very well. How could this be, right? But still this desire to be completely His. And that's the other thing that I just want to share with you. God gives you the desire to do what He's calling you to do. So you don't ever have to be scared. Oh my gosh, what if He's calling me to be a priest? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be miserable. What if He's calling me to be a sister? You don't have to be scared because God has created you and made you, and He's never going to do violence to His work, to His creation, right? So you don't have to be scared. Whatever He's calling you to, you're actually going to find the fulfillment of the happiness that you desire. You'll be more fully yourself by responding to your vocation, to your call in life. He gives you that desire for it. That was a big wake-up call to me. It's so amazing. Okay, the third thing. Okay, I have to tell you two other things. I think I can keep it in time limit. Are you all with me out there? Is anybody falling asleep? No. You're out there. Okay, you're out there. Okay. So there I am, senior year in college. Another really interesting thing happened to me, and this was so obvious. You all are probably way ahead of me in this whole understanding vocation thing. But one night I was coming out of a class, and I wandered by the chapel just to stop in, and adoration was going on. And there was a priest up there. He was this big Irish priest. He was giving a little reflection during Eucharistic adoration. And I walked into the chapel to hear him saying this, big Irish priest. Are you searching for your vocation with every fiber of your being? I was like, oh my gosh, no. As a matter of fact, I'm not. And I thought, oh wow, how obvious. Why have I missed the obvious thing? Well, I have not asked God what He created me to be. And I felt a little stupid about that because I thought that is so obvious. Why didn't I ask the Lord, what are you calling me to be? What have you created me to be? Who am I? The Lord is the one who shows us who we are and what will make us happy. So I started just very simply praying a Hail Mary every night, and that's a little piece of advice that I'd offer to you. If you don't already do it, before you go to bed at night, just pray one Hail Mary, very simple, asking Our Lady to help you as you go through your life and your life unfolds, to be open to the person God is calling you to be open to your vocation. So Mary can really help us do that. Okay, this is my last thing, I promise. The last thing, and the last grace for me that really helped me understand the gift that God was offering me. I graduated from college. I taught for a few years, and it was when I was 24 years old when I finally came and visited our convent. And what I saw there was women who were all so very much themselves and so free and so different from each other. And what that was for me was a grace to realize what I already mentioned to you all, that when we respond to the vocation God is offering to us, we become more free, we become more fully who we are. And I also realized, do you all know the 3 vows that we take? Anyone know the 3 vows that religious take? And this is the big extra credit question. Anybody? Nobody? Somebody? No, but no, the 4th graders don't know? No? 5th graders? We make 3 vows. Anybody just know one of the vows we make? One.
Franciscan?
Oh yeah, that is the Franciscans make vows also. We're Dominicans, and St. Francis lived during the same time as Dominic, so that's, but these actually are vows that we make. We make 3 vows. We do follow the 10 Commandments, and then we take it even a step further. Should I give you all a hint? We own nothing, we give up owning anything, and that's called, starts with a P. It's called poverty. Excellent. Poverty. We promise to follow, well, I don't know how this one will go. I don't know. Okay. Promise to follow the orders of our superiors. Obedience is the 2nd vow we make. Obedience. And the 3rd vow we make is chastity. So we don't have a human spouse here, so that we're totally devoted to the Lord. Totally devoted to the Lord and totally His. What I realized is the 3 vows of poverty, right, not owning anything, obedience, following the directives of our superiors, and chastity, those 3 vows actually set us free to do something. They set us free to love fully, right? To receive the Lord's love and to return it fully. That's really what's at the heart of our vocation, is Jesus calling us to Himself, and then sending us out to be witnesses of His love. That's really at the heart of why any woman in her right mind would give up marriage to a human spouse. It's for something that's even better, that the Lord has called her to Himself, to be His alone and to be a witness of His love. So that's kind of in a nutshell the path that the Lord took me. And that was 15 years ago I entered our congregation. And if you would have told me when I was your age, sitting in these seats, I never would have guessed what the Lord had in store. So I just say that to you to let you know that what the Lord has in mind for you is wonderful. And we'll just continue to pray for you as that unfolds in your life. For each one of you, He has a unique, wonderful plan that's just for you.